What is up, Texas hockey fans, and welcome back to Clean Sheet of Ice. It is opening day for baseball, but we are going to talk hockey today. We're going to talk dallasstars after a good win last night. Today's episode is brought to you by Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Go get them wherever you get Bloody Mary mix. They also have ready-to-drink cans wherever you get that. So if you just want to go on the road, not you driving, obviously, getting an Alto. Shout out to Alto, Ride Alto. I did a little piece last night. So use code Apollo3M for a 3-month membership, or Apollo50, I believe, for 50% off your first ride. So shout out to Alto, shout out to Zing Zang, shout out to Prize Picks, our daily fantasy app of choice, where you hit more or less on every stat, every game, every night, every player. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 match on your first deposit. I'm your host, Tone Strankman, joined always by Dom Garcia. How we doing, bud?
Man, we are doing good. The energy is high. Opening day is here. It's a different Astros team than I've been a part of in a very long time. And the Stars keep rolling. And most importantly, Jake Oettinger continues to be Jake Oettinger.
Yeah, last night was interesting. It's a weird game. No Connor McDavid, no Leon Draisaitl. So at that point, I am expecting a win, and I went to bed after the second period. Hand up, I did. The Stars were up 4-0. Jake Oettinger was Jake Oettinger, very much so. Jason Robertson was Jason Robertson, very much so. And I felt very comfortable. I was like, you know what? I'll get an extra hour of sleep here. I'll just go to bed now. Call it a day. It's going to be fine. I don't have to worry about anything. It's 4-0. The Stars are 31-1-1 after leading in the second period, I think, this year. So I felt great. The result was a win. However, it became a ref show once again. Welcome back, refs. You haven't left over the last 2 weeks. But we'll talk about that in a sec. So in the first period, kind of a slog. Edmonton had a little bit more juice. It's the story of the Dallas Stars for the last decade. The first period is always rough for the most part. But Jake Oettinger was stellar. Again, shocker. Coming off a shutout against the Minnesota Wild. He gets the start in Edmonton. No Leon, no Connor. I get that. But they were high danger chances everywhere. The first period, it was terrifying. There was one where he gets a save. The rebound goes right to an Oilers player. He's diving on the ground, and all of a sudden stops it with his glove while his leg flies over the top. It was an incredible Jake Oettinger save, a normal Jake Oettinger save, if you will. We're used to those. So the first period, they end up getting a goal, up 1-0. I'm like, all right, feeling pretty good about the result of the first period for how the first 10 minutes went versus how the last 10 minutes went, and felt pretty good about it. What did you think about the first period? It was a little bit strange, but a little bit normal at the same time.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. Like I mentioned in the past podcast, like what I wanted to see is very, very physical blue line. I want to see a lot of hits, a lot of scrambling, and Mikael Granlund's look really, really good. Really been just a pest all since he's been a Star. But going back to Oettinger, like there's a lot of qualities in a goalie, and there's a lot of things and traits. I don't know if there's a better like flash save goalie than Jake Oettinger. I mean, he makes the highest of difficulty saves better than anybody. And I don't want to be too critical here, but our D gave up a lot of pretty good looks last night. And it really didn't happen in the first period. It was more the second period. And Jake Oettinger was kind of bailing him out. And then obviously we got to the third, which I only saw like 5 minutes of. So I lasted just 5 minutes longer than you because, man, like I could sleep 15 hours. I'll still get tired late in the night. Just, it doesn't matter. Like I don't know why I'm that way. Maybe I need some vitamins. I don't know. But yeah, like I was like, man, Jake's rolling. And if we get our big time scorers to be big time scorers, like this is exactly what I wanted going into this game without their guys out. But yeah, the first period, it's a very Stars first period. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, that first goal was Wyatt Johnston, if I believe.
Filthy.
Correctly.
It was so filthy.
Yeah, it was disgusting. So Jamie gets the puck in the defensive zone, flings it over to Dadonov for a tip into the offensive zone. All of a sudden, Wyatt Johnston's just wide open. Both defenders went over to Dadonov on the boards for some reason, and he just got the best tip of all time into the zone because it went directly to Wyatt Johnston. A little fake on the backhand, right into the forehand, top shelf. Beautiful breakaway. Beautiful setup from Dodonov. It was a little bit lucky. The Oilers tweeted that out. One lucky bounce, and we're on to the second period. And then they didn't tweet again until the end of the second period with the score. So that was funny. Yeah, the first period was fine. I thought they did a lot of good things. I think they had some good offensive zone time, but the defense was a little bit of an issue. But luckily, Jake Oettinger was top tier. Jake Oettinger, once again. Second period, however, was Jason Robertson. It was his second hat trick of the year, both of which have come in the second period. He had all 3 goals in the second period, and it was just that first one. Was that the Mikko to Rupe, or is that the second one? I can't remember.
I feel like that was the second one.
All right, so that second goal was awesome. So Robo gathers the puck at the blue line, gives it over to Rupe. Rupe enters the zone, does a little drop pass for Mikko. Mikko grabs it. He gets twisted up with the Oilers defender, but keeps the puck on his stick somehow. As he's spinning to the ground, just falling over backwards, dumps it over to Rupe. Rupe somehow gets a backhand sauce over to Robo out of nowhere. I don't know how it happened, and Robo just had a wide open net with a lot of chaos going in front of the net, but just wide open, and Robo just tapped it in. That second goal was incredible. It was impeccable. I loved that goal because we haven't seen that from that top line yet with Robo, Rantanen, and Rupe. We wanted something to show with that line, and obviously we got 3 goals out of that line last night. So good signs to come. All 3 go to Robo, but we'll take that all day long.
Yeah, I mean, we have been discussing this. Like the coach Peter DeBoer has been just all over the place with his lineups and switching of the pairings. But we know when you have 3 guys that skilled, like something's got to give, and there's no way like this can continue. And we finally started to see like just there's too much skill to not get the puck in net. And Rantanen, I don't know how you do some of the things you do, but thank God you're in a Star sweater now. And I'm so excited for him on the power play. I'm so excited for him. Whenever we get to that right pairing, and hey man, the way he was looking in that second period, that might be the right pairing.
I would like it to be, because I want that Duchesne Mush Sagan line together come playoff time and end of regular season time. So then that would leave you with Robo, Rantanen, and Rupe. That objectively on paper is going to be your best line. It's going to be your top line, and you needed to work, and you needed to score goals and create high danger chances and all that kind of stuff. Because Mush was talking on DLLS last week, and he mentioned how all 3 of them, Sagan, Mush, and Duchesne, they don't, like, one guy doesn't play off the other 2 guys, or 2 guys don't play off the other guy. Like, they know exactly where everyone likes to enter the zone, where the passes like to come. He mentioned that Duchesne likes to, it's not a secret that he likes to enter the zone on the right side so he can do the stop or the spin on the right side of the boards and feed someone. He likes to set up that way. We need that top line to figure out what everybody likes to do. Where does Rantanen like to come in? Where Rupe likes to come in through the middle, dump it over to the left, maybe get it back. We saw it last night. Rupe entered the zone, dumped it over to Mikko, a little drop pass. Then he got it right back to Rupe. All of a sudden, Rupe gets it over to Robo. Easy goal, easy time. You can't ask for much more. And then on the power play, obviously, Thomas Harley flings it at the net. Robo's just scooting on over towards the goal and gets in the right position, because that puck is going wide right of the post. He tips it, goes right in the goal. It was a beautiful hat trick, like most nonchalant hat trick of all time. It didn't even look like he was working hard last night to get those goals. Like, it was just very easy for Robo. And that's my favorite thing about Robo, is when he's scoring, it looks far too incredibly easy for him. So he's leading the team in goals, 32 goals this season. Rantanen got an assist. Rupe is leading the league in points, I believe, over the last 18 games now, 17 games. Leading the league in points. Only 3 goals. The rest are assists, but we'll take that. Robo has the most goals in 2025 out of any player in the NHL right now. We'll take that. And then Rantanen getting another point. Huge.
Yeah, and there were, when Robo was doing media after the game, like you've been in the locker room, I have it. Like his character is just so vintage. Like he's just eating fruit and just like, yeah, I woke up today, got on the bike for a little bit, spun around in mornings or in warm-ups, and then I scored a hat trick. Like that's just what I do, when I'm on my game. And the TNT broadcast had this game, and they were very much highlighting like, man, he's in Dallas, so he's not going to get, the love that maybe other stars get around the league. But Jason Robertson, when it comes to scoring goals, up there with the top of the top, dude. Like lightning quick shot, not the fastest skater, but so intelligent around the net. And that's where I love to see him, around the net where other players can get him the puck.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, he scored 50 goals 2 seasons ago. And then he got a little hurt, a little banged up last year. He didn't score 50, and Joe Pavelski was getting older, and there was a lot of factors that went into that. And then this year, slow start, and we're like, shit, is that just like normal Robo that we saw last year where he's going to score 20 to 25, and it's still like a good season, but it's not an impeccable season like we saw with 109 points or whatever it was that season in 22-23. And now since December, we've gotten that Robo. We've gotten 22-23 Robo again. And that's just a huge boost for the Stars. Like, he's not your most skilled guy, but he has the best shot on the team. I'd have to say, like, he has the best shot. It's not really a debate. There's a lot of really good shooters on this team, and that's the best part. And now you add Mikko to that line. So getting more chemistry and getting those 3 goals with that line last night was huge. The third period happened. Zing was needed those last 10 minutes. A lot of zing was needed those last 10 minutes. It became a playoff type game where you're just clenching your fists, your butthole, whatever it is. Like, you're just terrified of what's happening because that first one goes in, not on Otter. Just a good bounce for the Oilers. We got a good bounce earlier in the game. So you're even on that, like lucky bounces, good bounces, whatever it is. Came right off the boards, went right to Corey Perry. Corey Perry sent it 5-hole. Because Otter had no idea where the puck was. And that's not on Otter. Like, it hit the back of the boards. Sometimes that bounces back. Most of the time it doesn't. It stays behind the net. That one bounced right to Corey Perry, and it ended his shutout bit of like 130 straight minutes of shutout from Jake Oettinger. Huge. But yeah, then it just kept happening because they kept getting bad penalty calls. So we'll start with the Mikko one. Mikko's skating towards the net on Skinner in the third period, and he's going probably 18 plus miles an hour at that point. He's moving, and he's going towards the rebound. The rebound does not come out. Skinner comes out of his crease, and his head is poking out. Rantanen tries to avoid him, which is the part of the penalty that shouldn't have counted, is that he tried to avoid him. And usually that doesn't count as a penalty, but he just barely kind of grazed his head, but Skinner like lost his head essentially. It looked like he got decapitated, but Rantanen was trying to avoid him. He wasn't trying to purposely hit him, is what I gathered from the play. And they called a interference call on Mikko, and obviously they go on the power play. And even if Leon and Connor aren't on the power play, that Oilers power play is still pretty damn good, turns out.
Oh yeah, they were scaring me even before that goal. Like, just Edmonton's really, really sound in puck possession and passing. Like, not just the star players on that team, like their depth and their passing is quick and it's right on tape. They never mishandle any passes. And that's something I wish our Stars did, because when we're down and we're not playing a good game, that's like the most frustrating thing I watch, is the mishandling of passes, because they're trying to rush things. Edmonton, they're not going to rush anything. And that bodes well for a power play. And even if a power play is as good as ours, like, you got to just tip your cap, because they make sound plays. They might not make high level plays, but their depth will make sound plays.
I'm going to go back to the second period real quick. I just thought of this. Darnell Nurse earlier in the season got an elbow to the back of the head, I believe from Rimpe from the Rangers. And then literally like the next week, he does the exact same thing to someone else. It was, I don't believe it was, it might've been against Toronto, maybe the Maple Leafs. I can't remember who it was. Or no, it was the Panthers. It's that Panthers game that was like 5-4 or something crazy earlier in the season. He threw an elbow. He obviously gets a penalty for it. Does the exact same thing Rimpe does after he called him out in the press after that game. Last night, Darnell Nurse is on the boards and Robo's on the boards. I believe, I don't remember who the other player was, the Stars player, but the Stars player takes the puck, not Robo, and Darnell Nurse throws an elbow to the back of Robo's neck. Obviously, he's not expecting that hit because he never had the puck. They got a penalty for it. I don't know if they scored on that power play or right after the power play, where I can't remember. But regardless, Darnell Nurse, baby back bitch. I tweeted it out last night.
Yeah, I saw that this morning, actually.
He's baby back bitch. You can't complain about something that happens to you and then do it twice in the season. I don't watch Oilers games, so it's very possible that he did it more. And he yelled at the ref, "Fuck off," after that call. He didn't think that was a call. It was an elbow to the back of the head, and it was also the player that never touched the puck. So, baby back bitch, Darnell Nurse, baby back bitch of the year, maybe McDavid. McDavid had a lot of things earlier in this year, but yeah, had to go back to that. But yeah, then you get Sam Steele, not on a breakaway, but on a semi breakaway. He's got two guys on him, on his back. They get back checked pretty hard. They kind of grab him. They hook him a little bit from behind, and he tries to let up and not hit the goaltender. And he runs into the goalpost and the goaltender. He's letting up, but he gets shoved by two guys into the goaltender and the post. The goal goes off of its post, and it moves back. And they called a penalty on Sam Steele. Unbelievable that we keep getting just the worst calls of all time because he is actively moving back. His back is literally moving away from the goal. He is trying to avoid hitting the goaltender because he knows that's not a hockey play. Like, that's not what he's trying to do. He's trying to get a puck on net. He's getting back checked by two guys. He gets shoved into the goaltender and the goalie. And then afterwards, the Wallman is just like dogging him behind the goal. Like, dogging him. He's pushing him on the ground, shoving him, hitting him with his stick, doing all the things, just being so extra. And they called a penalty on Sam Steele somehow. I don't know how they called that penalty. Did you see the clip?
I did see it. And I also saw Peter DeBoer is very stone-faced.
Yes.
But when he gets pissed, he looks pissed. But it's the assistant coaches that won't have that stone face. The assistant coaches, like particularly the guy that handles the iPads, like he will he will chirp like crazy, and rightfully so. Like in my Dallas Stars fandom, I think Jamie Benn's penalties 80% of the time they're like,
that's a right call. Most of the time it is.
But it feels like everybody else, it's at least at a questionable level. It's never like you got caught, shouldn't have done it. It's just always like that either could have gone either way, or that was just flat out like, what are we doing?
Like, so bad. Because like earlier in the season, I mentioned that Mush got cross-checked at the blue line. They called an offside penalty or offside call, and they didn't call the penalty on the cross-check. Blatant cross-check interference. Didn't call that. The other game, it was a Monday night. Rupe gets tripped. He falls to the ground, and they called an interference call on Rupe for trying to get up after getting tripped with the puck when he was trying to shoot it. It's just becoming unreal. Obviously, the Mush stick in Colorado, that was not his stick. The Mikko elbow cross check when it was just him getting tripped and he fell because the guy kicked his skate out from underneath him. So then he fell with his elbow and they called a cross check on Mikko behind the net a few games ago. Like, I think it was the Tampa game. Like, it's just becoming unreal how bad the calls are. And we understand that refs are people and they make mistakes, just like players make mistakes. And that's why players go to the box sometimes. They make a mistake. The Stars aren't making many mistakes over the last 3 games. And they're just calling blatantly terrible calls. Just awful calls.
Yeah.
That Mikko hold the other night on Monday when we were on the power play, or maybe it was 4-on-4. And they called a holding for Mikko when the guy just couldn't skate. He got shoulder bumped a little bit, fell backwards funny, and they called a holding call on Mikko. Like, it's just becoming insane at this point.
Yeah, so like I fight, and in the UFC maybe like a year ago, there was like they stopped everything. They had meetings. Like the refs were making the product unwatchable with how many times they would stop positioning. They would call warnings and not fouls. Like if you have to call 5 warnings, call a foul. But if you're going to do that, don't call the foul. And this is like a league-wide pandemic now. Like we watched the 4 Nations and loved how the refs that 4 Nations. They were letting the players play. It was a great product on the ice. Hockey has always been a great product on the ice. But when this has been going on since then, and it's ruining the watchable product of the game. Like every single time the crowd cheers or boos, I'm like, what happened now? Like, what are the refs doing? Like, this is something that's starting to snowball, and it's really ruining the watchability of some of these games. And now it's teetering towards getting into affecting the actual scores.
Yeah, it's like that game should never have been 4-3. That those 2 penalties led to 2 goals. There's no way, shape, or form that those 2 penalties should have ever been called in the first place. And earlier in the game, like the first or second period, I can't remember which one it was, but someone got high sticked on the Stars. he's holding his face. Like, he's actively going to the bench because he's holding his face because he got fucking high staked, and they let the play go on for 30 or 45 more seconds before they ended up stopping play and calling it after he gets to the bench. Like, that should never happen. If someone's holding his face, you pretty much should just call it, then go look at it, and then if it's not a high stick, then you don't call the high stick. It is what it is. But they didn't do that in any way, shape, or form. They let the play go on with the Oilers having the puck the entire time, let them get a shot on goal, and then all of a sudden they call it. It's just becoming insane at this point. There's no way that game should have been 4-3, regardless of what you're going to call. If you're going to call the Mikko one for interference, I guess. He was letting up. He was trying to avoid him. Stuart Skinner's out of the box. He obviously gets hurt on that play. We don't want to see that, but here he's out of the crease, and that shouldn't have been called. The Sam Steele one is objectively not his fault when he gets shoved by two Oilers defenders into the goaltender. Like, that just, it's becoming ridiculous. And I know the Stars and Pete DeBoer are pissed off about it, and they're tired of it. And DeBoer has said that they need to play better. They need to play cleaner because they are one of the cleaner teams in the NHL. They have the best PK in the NHL. Plus, they don't take a lot of penalties. They're top 5 and not taking penalties. It's getting really bad. It's getting really, really, really bad. And because the Oilers are at home, you're going to call these calls? You better start calling them at home in Dallas if you're going to let all these other teams. Like, we're a superstar team. We're one of the best teams in the Western Conference. We're one of the best teams in the NHL. Give us the superstar calls too.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm also cool with just reffing it like 4 Nations, just letting the guys play, because it seemed to be the guys were policing, really bad calls and really good ones. And I think they enjoyed a little bit extra. It was fun. But yeah, I think the score of this game was very misleading. I left this game really, really excited about, the next week going forward. And I thought it was a really good performance from the team. I think they're going to feel really good about this game, even though they did get a little tight at the end.
Yeah, the defense wasn't as sharp as it was on Monday, but the rest of it was about the same. Forward group looked really good. They scored more goals than they did on Monday, and then Jake Oettinger looked the exact same as he did on Monday. Even though he didn't get the shutout, he deserved a shutout. He didn't deserve 3 goals on him for power plays, but it is what it is. You get a win, you get out of there, you get 2 points, you stay in your position in the playoffs, and you move on. And now we got a back-to-back. We were playing Calgary tonight, Thursday night. After the Astros game, I'm going to have to take a nap before another West Coast game, but here we are. Getting Calgary. Calgary is always a tough team. They always play the Stars really hard. They play violent hockey for the most part. Like, they hit hard, they play hard, and they're fighting for a playoff spot right now. And we're coming off a back-to-back in a game that we probably should have just won 4-0, pretty stress-free, and then it turned into pretty stressful the last 10 minutes of the game. So what do you think about Calgary tonight?
I'm not rooting for Calgary tonight, but as far as this whole season goes, I wholeheartedly tip my cap to them. Nobody had them in any point of a playoff conversation at all, and they came out red hot. Their coach is a really good coach. I really like him a lot, and he's done really good things up there. Yeah, I just they're probably going to come out the way our third period was, coming off of a back-to-back. I don't know who's in net tonight. Whoever it is, they're going to come out with some fire, and I expect a normal first period from the Stars. If I'm being honest, I'd hope that changed, but really, I want to see a good. I'm not too concerned about seeing a great first period. I'm just concerned about seeing a good third period. Shoring up the D, forwards look great. Duchesne seems to be able to play with everybody. Like, been loving his play. I've been loving Cody Ceci, to be honest with you. Like,
He's looked pretty good.
He has. I expected nothing from him, and what we're getting is really good. So I want to see just a really good, clean finish to the game, no matter the score is. Love to get some points. If we don't, it's a back-to-back. I know our legs are tired. I know they're going to come out firing.
Yeah, they have to. They're 4 games out of a playoff spot right now in the wild card. They do have 2 games in hand on 2 of the teams, and then 3 games in hand on the other team in the wild card spots. So they still have a shot. They are very much in the mix for that final wild card spot in the West, or even the first wild card spot in the West. So they're going to expect to come in and get some points. Kadri got his 300th goal, I believe, on a breakaway overtime winner the other night. So they play really good hockey, and they always play the Stars really hard. So coming off a back-to-back, I expect that top line to do some damage, that second line to do some damage, and Wyatt Johnston to do damage, Thomas Harley to do damage, and Jake Oettinger won't be playing. It's going to be DeSmith. There's no way they play him back to back. So let's get a win. Get the 2 points. Get the hell out of there. I don't care how it happens. If it comes in a shootout or overtime, it's an 8 o'clock game, so it's a little bit earlier than 9:30 on a 9 o'clock start. What are we doing, TNT? Start the games on time.
Yeah.
Because the Stars, it's a 7 o'clock game at home every time. They start the game at 7:08, 7:09 sometimes, 7:07. Like, you got about 10 minutes of the national anthem and the lineups and all that kind of stuff starting at 7, and then all of a sudden, they start the game. TNT, figure it out. I can't do it anymore. It's ridiculous. 25 minutes after the start time.
It's starting. I mean, Astro season is here. It's starting to feel like those Seattle games where, over here they don't start till like late at night. And
9:10. Yeah.
if you want to finish the game, you have to do I forget what they call it, but it's like late night with the Astros. And I guess this is a warm up. I don't like it, but at least the Stars don't have to do that like the Astros. Why? Nothing says West Coast America like Houston, Texas. Like,
yeah. And
Houston,
Dallas, Texas.
and Dallas, Texas in the American League West. That makes a lot of sense. Just like college football, where everybody can just join a conference and just go all over the map. But yeah, I actually do like TNT's in between period coverage because they do a lot of useful information. But you are right. This is, if you say you're going to start a game at this time,
you have a 10-minute window to start the game. I am graceful for 10 minutes. Baseball and football have it figured out. Football, 12 o'clock, you're kicking off at 12:01. Like, right on the dot.
Basketball's like 7 minutes, I think. Exactly 7 minutes.
Yeah, for local games is 7 minutes. National games, ESPN is one of the better ones. TNT is one of the better ones for basketball. It is usually, I think it's 12 or 13 minutes after start time, which still a little long, but you can get by with that. ESPN's really bad, I believe. I think they're like closer to 20-something minutes for basketball. And obviously with hockey, both the ESPN and the TNT broadcasts are kind of like that. They start 10 to 15 minutes later than normal broadcasts do for whatever godforsaken reason. And the playoffs are all going to be on national television. They're all going to be ESPN. They're all going to be TNT. And we're going to have to deal with it for 2-3 months. Like, that's going to be miserable. I'm not looking forward to that. But take care of Calgary. And then you got the Kraken, 2 games in Seattle on Saturday and Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday to talk about those games. But the Kraken aren't very good. You should win those games. You should win both. You get an Oettinger game. You probably get another DeSmith game in there, I believe. It was what I would do, but we never know. Pete DeBoer, just whatever you think is the logical answer for lineups, the opposite is probably going to happen on that game. So you'll get DeSmith tonight, and then we'll see what happens this weekend in Seattle before they head back home. Next week on Thursday, I believe they play at home against the Predators. So that should be a good one. We'll see what happens this weekend, but get a win tonight. Worry about Seattle after that, and we'll see what happens. Just keep getting points. They're on a 6-game point streak, by the way. They're 4-0-2. So take that.
Yeah, it's good to know. I mean, we're at that point of the season where I think everybody who's in like our position or around our position is like, man, like, let's just not get hurt. And these games, like, let's just get to the can we just get to the playoffs?
Just get in.
Yeah.
Winnipeg clinched the other night as well. They clinched a playoff spot, and they're the first Western Conference team to do so. Stars will probably be up next in a few games, and we'll see what happens. But I wanted to point out that it is Pete DeBoer's best 70-game start in his tenure as a Stars coach, his 3rd season.
Wow.
They have more points than they did last year after 70 games. I don't know about 71 after we played last night, but they finished the season 10-2 last year. So that's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, I'm pretty sure we had a really great end to the year last year.
Yeah, 10-2. They had like a 17-game heater where they were getting points before that 10-2 ending. Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat, but they can do it. They very clearly can do it. And then Sagan's on the road trip, by the way. He's with the team. I don't know if it means he's going to play in Seattle on the last game or not, but he's with the team. He's skating. He's doing morning skates with the team. He's traveling with them. It's good sign.
That's like, dude, so many times LTIR gets abused and used, but this is like one of the very few instances where it's like a legitimate, like, Sagan kind of went away. Injuries. Yeah, it's like he went away for a while and it kind of just got lost. And now that he's coming back, it's like, I remember that first episode. We're like, man, the surgery sounds crazy difficult just to like as a normal person to live after that, like just to function. And then he's gonna come back to skate. That's crazy.
He's got to get cleared for contact first, but he is skating with the team. He's doing morning skates, and he's with the team on the road. I don't know. That just seems like a really good sign for me. Maybe he doesn't play until Nashville's game next week, but that's fine by me. I don't care. Like if he's getting that many games before the playoffs, I'm feeling so good about the Stars heading into it, even if they don't have Miro, because I think the offense would just be absolutely electric. It's going to be regardless if Seguin comes back before then or not, but Seguin's going to be playing in that first round matchup. It just depends if he comes back before then. And then I think the one thing that we got to talk about there is what happens with the roster, because they have to put one roster player has to go on either LTIR or has to go down to the minors, or they have to waive someone. They're like a few $100,000 over the cap if Seguin comes back after the Mikko trade. So is that Maverick Bork? Because he has an option. He can go down to Texas and play in the AHL for a few games and then come back up for the playoffs. No problem. Is it Brendan Smith? Does he go on waivers? Oscar Beck is out of options because he's 25 and he's not on an entry level deal anymore. So you can't send him down. So you either have to put a player on waivers or send Maverick Bork down to the minors. And I have an answer what I would do, but I don't know what you would do.
I don't know what I would do, to be honest.
I'm sending Maverick down to the minors. I'm letting him play games because he hasn't played in the last 3 or 4 games now. He's been scratched, a healthy scratch, because that fourth line has been grinding. Blackwell's been awesome. So I get why they did it, because Bork plays really well on the third line and above. The fourth line, he's not as dynamic as he normally is. Something happens when he goes on the fourth line, and it's not working. So if you put him down in AHL, they're going to go to the playoffs. He can play in playoff games for Texas because they have like 2 or 3 less games than the Stars have left before their playoffs start. So you can let him go down there and then call him back up for the playoffs. And then he's on your roster. Then you can healthy scratch him if you need to. Putting Brendan Smith on waivers is not something I want to do. I don't think anyone would pick him up. So then you would be able to bring him right back in for the playoffs. But I don't want to lose another healthy defenseman, because then if CC or Dumba or Bishop or whoever it is goes down late in the regular season and you lost Brendan Smith because you put him on waivers because you wanted Seguin back up, then it becomes a real issue, because then if Miro's not ready for the first round, all of a sudden you need that 7th D-man, 8th D-man. Like, you're going to need that guy eventually, and I'd rather have him on the roster guaranteed, whereas Maverick Bork, you can send him down and he's still guaranteed to be on the playoff roster.
Yeah, that seems like the only move, now that I think about it, to make, because Miro's still up in the air right now, and yeah, you're right. We can't afford any of our blue line to miss any more games. So yeah, I agree with you.
And I love Brendan Smith. He's always a joy in the locker room. He's always a good time to talk to, and he plays really hard. He practices really hard, and obviously he is probably your worst defenseman on the roster, based on plus minus and all the things that happen when he's on the team. But he is a able body, and he's not a bad defender. He just gets put in bad situations, I think, on a team where he was playing a lot of minutes, and he didn't want him to play a ton of minutes, and he had to at some points. So he's awesome. I love Brendan Smith. So don't put him on waivers. Keep him for the playoffs. And if someone gets hurt in the playoffs, then all of a sudden you got Brendan Smith to step right in for the third D pairing. But we'll get into that whenever we need to get into that. Seguin is on the way back. We'll see where he's at next week when we come back on Tuesday to record. So I don't know. Stars are looking good. Third period, albeit, but not their fault. It was the ref's fault. I'm blaming that entirely on the refs. Like, there's no way. There's 7 penalties should not have been called on the Stars last night. So we'll be back on Tuesday for another episode of Clean Sheet Advice. Shout out to Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Go get it wherever you get your Bloody Mary mix. I get it from the liquor store. You can get it at Target. You can get it wherever. Shout out to Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Zang responsibly. Shout out to Prize Picks, our daily fantasy app of choice. Use Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. So if you put in $100, Prize Picks is going to give you $100 right back using code Apollo when you sign up. Dom, thanks for joining. Good luck on the fight this week. Happy opening day to the baseball fanatics and our viewing or our listeners. So shout out to opening day. It's going to be stressful now that we're coming down to the wire for hockey and we got opening day. So I'm going to be pretty stressed out for the next however many months. It's going to be a grind. We're back. Baseball's back. Hockey's still here. We'll be back very, very soon with another episode of Clean Sheet of Ice, the Texas Hockey Podcast.